This week, we'll begin work in the Senate shortly on a farm bill, an extension of the farm bill that will run out for another 6 or so years. So this is something that's happening today. But to have work done by Cato, by Sally James, by other organizations, sort of enlightened policy organizations, to look at what our foreign policy is, what it does, how much it costs, is extremely important because I think the best we can hope for is that the policymakers, the members of the agricultural committees that are writing this legislation, keep in mind what the impact in the cost is as they write the legislation. So I'm going to focus on a number of key principles or concerns in writing legislation rather than dwell on, as all too often is the emphasis, what the allocation is, right? How much money is in conservation? How much money is in commodities? How much money is in nutrition? We need to step back from that part of the legislative debate and remind people about what's at stake financially, what's at stake in terms of market incentives. And if we do that consistently and effectively, then I think we're more likely to get more reasonable allocations and spending levels, more constructive policy. But having watched this process occur a couple of times now over the last 10 years, I'm sorry to say I'm not very optimistic, but the work that's being done to emphasize these priorities is never more important. Where are we in the farm economy? Well, I think first we need to recognize, we need to be honest, that the farm economy in this country is in an absolute boom period. The last 4 years of income, 2003 to 2006, the highest aggregate 4 years of farm income in history. Debt ratios among the agricultural community are among the lowest in history, the lowest ever mentioned. Household income for farm households is 30% higher than average income in the country. Right? And those are important facts to come to grips with. Of course, there are going to be anecdotal stories about problems or even inequities or shortfalls in the agricultural industry, just like you can find problems or shortfalls and inequities in any industry in America. But taken as a whole, income has never been higher, household income is above average, and debt ratios and therefore failures and bankruptcies are at historically low levels. It's even more important then in that environment, a very positive economic environment, that whatever we do legislatively be built on reasonable principles of avoiding unintended consequences, of avoiding excessive costs, of avoiding unnecessary subsidies. And let me begin with that cost issue. In fact, there are 4 areas I want to talk about, I want to emphasize. One is recognizing the aggregate cost of these programs. Second, recognizing the consumer cost, the cost to every consumer in the country. Third is to recognize that any time we provide subsidies, as we do in the agricultural community, we distort the market and drive inefficiencies in the marketplace. And the fourth thing I want to touch on is just the degree to which these subsidies, these programs act as trade barriers, and as a result, prevent us from making progress in a number of key areas of trade that would benefit our economy, benefit consumers, and benefit the country.
Thank you for watching Cato Weekly Video. The Cato Institute is a nonprofit organization. For more information or to find out how to give to Cato, please visit www.cato.org.